second, because it's gonna start. There we go. Oh, the most exciting part of the day is this moment, I'm sure. Okay, here we go. And there we go. That's live. Wonderful, beautiful. And then let's record this for the fine folks that cannot make this today. So we have it for them. Oh, there's already a question. Welcome, everyone. We're going to do a meditation and a little Q&A here today. So doing this regularly on Thursdays. Some Thursdays we will miss because I will be busy out of town or something like that. But my aim is to be of service and let people have a moment to pause during the day. Just to introduce myself, if you don't know me, my name is Kelly Carlin-McCall. I am a writer, a podcaster, have my master's in Jungian depth psychology, uh, Emmy award-winning documentary maker, and I'm also founder of Humans on the Verge, which is a space and a community that allows people like writers and just normal humans to find their true voice into the world. So that is that. And my meditation cred, my meditation street cred, comes from almost 30 years. I started studying the mindfulness path of Thich Nhat Hanh with teachers in 1997. And so I did that vigilantly for 10 years. And then, as practices go off and on, but it's something I've returned to recently in order to be able to breathe through the calm or the lack of calm in the world, actually. So I'm here to lead you today. Today, we're going to do a Thich Nhat Hanh style meditation, actually. Last week, we did a different type of meditation, but this will help you learn a little bit about the technique. And we will spend some time during the meditation. I will not talk. We will just be in silence. And you will practice the bringing yourself back to breath over and over again, which is really the practice of mindfulness. And it's about strengthening that muscle. So my caveat for everyone at the beginning of these always is to know that your mind will wander. That is the nature of mind. That is the job of mind. And actually, if your mind didn't wander, I would be worried about the health of your cognitive state, because that wandering mind is an essential part of our cognition. It helps us do things like scan the environment, and all of that, but it really helps us scan what's needed now, what's needed next. That's its job. It lives in the future a bit, and it can also live in the past a bit. It can rue and think about the past or rehash things, or it will rehearse things in the future. This is a unique part of the human brain. It's a gift, and not so much, especially when you're just trying to focus on your breath and breathe. So know that your mind will wander. What I also like to say to people who are either advanced practitioners or this is your first time meditating or somewhere in the middle is that our job in meditation is not to clear our mind and have some sort of perfect, crystal clear, non-egoic, transcendent state. Although that would be lovely, would it not? And it does happen for practitioners, advanced practitioners. That is the road to quote unquote enlightenment and all of that. But for most of us humans, uh, we will be dealing with this wandering mind. And so our job actually in mindfulness is not to attain nirvana today for 15 or 20 minutes. It is to love ourselves and be in the moment with ourselves in a very loving way. That means we will breathe. I will do some guiding of that for you at the beginning, and then we're going to sit in silence, and your mind will wander. I like to say you'll end up in Disneyland or something like that, because that's happened to me before, where We end up in Disneyland and we're like, how did I get to Disneyland? I'm sitting in my house meditating with Kelly and a bunch of other people online. And then sometimes we have a tendency to think, oh, I'm stupid. I don't know what I'm doing. I hate you, mind. Da, 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 da. That is not what we want. What we want for you is to treat your wandering mind like a puppy or a toddler. A toddler who's learning to walk, you would never jump down its throat and say, you fucking idiot, why aren't you walking properly? Why do you keep falling on your butt? Or you would never use, a harshness or hit a puppy if it started doing the thing that is just natural to it. You try to coax it, you try to be kind to it, and you try to do it with love, but firmness. So that's what we're going to do with our mind. When we notice our mind wandering, which it will, we go, oh, and so you'll notice it. You'll come to awareness like, oh, there I am going down my to-do list, or there I am worrying about my checkup next week, or whatever, fill in the blank. What we're going to do is go, oh, look at that. Look at that. I'm living in the future, or I'm living in the past. I'm ruining my last conversation with my beau or my landlord or whatever it is. Um, oh, look at that. Look at my mind going off. Oh, that's right. I'm going to kindly, gently remind it that we are just focusing on the breath. And then you'll come back and you'll focus on your breathing. And then you will have to do it again, sometimes every 30 seconds. It depends on the day. And these days, our minds are very, very jumbled. We are jumbled by large events in the world, of course, but we are also jumbled by this thing. We have been for the last 18 years using this thing to train our brains, and this does not train our brain for mindfulness. This trains our brain to want to go to the next uh, bit of excitement. It's a dopamine addict device, and we're all addicted to it now. So this is an anti-mindfulness device, just so you know. So we got a lot working against us these days. So the gentleness, the self-love, and the self-care that we bring to this is super important because we are the only ones who are going to really do that for ourselves. And to really recognize that the world is against us right now in being mindful and being able to stay calm. Now, other days when we do this training and or not this training, but when we do these meditations together, we'll focus on different things. But I wanted to kind of at the beginning, the first 4 to 6 weeks, kind of do a different meditation each time. So this will be the mindfulness one. I will ring a bell to begin, and then we're going to begin in a moment. And what I invite you to with the bell is to allow the sound of the bell to be the thing that you first focus on before we focus on the breath. So it will be our focus, our point of concentration. This is really what mindfulness breathing training is all about, is about learning to focus and concentrate the mind so that we are not just a little boat on a huge ocean of big waves, but that we actually have a little tiller and that we have a sail that we are adjusting for our thinking. And this is the practicing of focusing and concentration in the traditional Buddhist, world. So I'm gonna ring the bell once. I will walk you through some instruction. We will sit in silence for a few moments, probably about 5, maybe even 7 minutes to practice that. I will then come back and bring you back to the breath. We will sit a little bit more in silence. And then I will ring the bell to end the meditation session. And then once we're done with the meditation session, feel free to leave if you need to. If you want to stick around and have any questions about any of the work I do on the planet, I'm here to answer your questions with joy and fun and connection and all of that. We can hang out. Okay? All right. Any quick questions before we start? No. Wonderful. All right. So let's start. And here's one more thing, posture. If you're sitting on a chair, let your back be straight up and down like mine is right now. No slumpy slumpies. No slumpy slumpies. Straight up, feet on the ground. And might want to check in with your body mid-meditation, because sometimes I find myself and other people doing this. Slowly we're doing this. Oh, we gotta wake up and get back again. So this is just to be align the spine. It's good for our sense of self. We are like a king or a queen sitting on a throne. All right, here we go. And let's just start with a little deep breathing to kind of clear out the cobwebs. So we're going to do a big deep breath in, hold it for a few seconds, blow it out as if we were blowing out with a straw. And then we're going to empty out our lungs, stay there a half a beat, and we're going to breathe back in. We're going to do 3 of these in a row. So big breath in, holding. Really all the way to the top of your lungs, hold it in. Breathing out as a straw. Get that last little bit out. And then let yourself breathe normally, organically. Nothing to change. We're just now going to observe the breath. But before we do that, I just want you to observe your body on your cushion and or your chair, or if you're lying down, your body lying on a surface. Notice the weight of your body. Let yourself feel the presence of your body in the space that it's in. Now we're going to turn our attention towards the breath. And if you catch yourself wandering, your mind wandering, which you will, like I said, some people like to name the thought. You can name it just past or future or thinking. Sometimes that helps to notice it, to label it, and then come back to the breath. So let's just try that practice together here for a minute. Remembering to come back gently and lovingly to the breath. when you notice the wandering mind and where it has wandered to. And now let's try a longer stretch of sitting in silence together, watching the wandering mind when it comes back and being very gentle with ourselves and refocusing on breath. Bring your attention back to breath. You can use the words in and out to speak them internally. That can help to occupy the busy mind, the wandering mind a bit. So let's just try that for a few minutes, just using the words in and out as we follow the breath. Remembering that the whole point of the exercise is getting to bring love to yourself when you notice your mind wandering. So the noticing of the mind wandering becomes a gift and a purpose, not a mistake, not an error. Just sitting and breathing is enough. Gently bringing your wandering mind back to the breath, to this moment, to this here and now. The last few minutes of the meditation, I want to invite you to bring forth some part of life that has been feeling heavy for you or confusing. And I just want to offer you to imagine that we are all sitting in a circle together with our big hearts. And when I say big hearts, I mean the heart of the Buddha in the space with us, the biggest heart, the most unconditional heart there is, holding this circle, holding us in the circle. And I just want you to offer not to fix, not to change or transform, but to just let whatever this heavy thing is Place it in the center of the circle and let the heart of this circle just hold it without any expectation. And send love out from your heart to someone or something that you deeply love, so that we put a lot of heart space into this circle. So put the thing that's heavy or confusing, overwhelming in the circle. Lay it down as if you would a sweet child. And then let your mind and heart focus on someone or something that really allows your heart to open and be in full love space. And let's just sit together for a few minutes with this going. Welcome back, everybody. Oh, welcome, Holly. Sorry I didn't let you in earlier. I was in it.
I was on a 3:30 time schedule in my mind.
Yeah, and I sent out a thing with the wrong number and the wrong time, and then I fixed it. And of course, it is what it is. It's noon. Welcome back, everyone. Uh, hmm. How was that for people? Um, did you struggle? If you did and you want to come forward and talk it through a little bit, it would be helpful for yourself, helpful for others, I'm sure. Uh, if you didn't struggle, uh, what was it like? Uh, that kind of stuff. I'm going to look at my participant thing. It helps if I don't have everyone on my screen right now because I'm pinned. So if you want to raise your hand, if you need to speak, you can do that with the little react button, raise your hand. You guys all know how to do the Zoom. Yeah, it seems like everyone was in it. Brandy, I see that you were actually sitting on a cushion. Are you a longtime practitioner?
I actually have been doing TM since October 2017. And I used to try to do, before that, I studied Thich Nhat Hanh and everything, and I could never focus. And so, I mean, not focus, but I couldn't, ADD.
Yeah, yeah,
So this
you
was
needed the
really amazing.
mantra.
Yeah, yeah. And so the mantra helped, but this time I didn't use the mantra. It was just wonderful to just sit, and I found that now I'm able to do the mindfulness meditations. Is fantastic. It's nice to be here with the group. Thank you.
Oh, lovely, lovely to have you, Brandy. And TM
Thanks.
is such a profound path. And my mom and dad did it back in the 60s and had a mantra and all that kind of stuff. I've never done it, but because I ended up on this path. But I'm so
Yeah,
glad you came to experiment today
thank
and the
you.
experiment opened up something else for you. And you yeah, and the mantra really does help. That's why even Thai, and that's Thich Nhat Hanh's, we call him familiarly, it's called teacher Thai. That's why Thai has these little gathas, they're mantras, where you can do follow along meditations with him and the people that lead his stuff that are just words to help your mind, that that wandering thinking mind that is very busy for some of us and really busy for all of us ultimately, um, to just focus the mind. And it is a gift also when we just let it be quiet in there and watch that thing that happens, and then we bring it back. And, with enough time with the breathing and just watching the breathing, something else can happen. It's not about getting there, but a different state can occur. So, yeah, so nice to have you here, Brandy. Thanks for being
Thank you
here.
so much. Thank you.
Yeah. Gina, you had your hand up?
Yeah. Um, Even though I turn my camera off, I find I do a really much better job meditating in a group situation than alone. Um, I don't know why that is, but today I was, I think, right on the brink of a little nap, um, to be honest.
Yeah, can happen.
But it was very, very refreshing and just what I needed in the middle of the week, in the middle of the day.
Yeah, the community aspect, Gina, really is part of the path. There's three jewels in the Buddhist path. There's the Buddha, who's the person who we think it's all about the Buddha, but no, the Buddha is one of the jewels because, yeah, he became an enlightened one, and Buddha means awakened one. That's all the word Buddha means. It wasn't his name. Uh, but it, but the Buddha is important because it shows that a human being is the participant here. The human being can do that path because there is one that did it. And then there's the Dharma, which is the teachings, which is the path of practice, which is life coming at us and getting to practice mindfulness. And then there's Sangha. Sangha is community. And the three go together. This does not work without Sangha because we need Sangha to remind us of this part of ourself, this, to be on the path, to be practicing. And so I get to be the organizer of Sangha with these free meditations. Um, and be the little bit of the reminder during the meditation. But we did a nice stretch there of silent meditation, which was nice. I didn't speak. Sometimes I'm always like, and that's interesting for my mindfulness. So you guys kind of know where I'm at as the leader person. I sit here and I go, oh, should I say something now? Oh, should I remind him of that? So I have come up with the word teaching. So that idea will come up while I'm sitting with you, and I'll go, oh, look at me teaching. Come back to breath. So yeah, and so that's why community, Gina, is important. It is important to have some sort of community. And I just recently refound a in-person Sangha, Thich Nhat Hanh path, inter the whatever it's called of interbeing, a mile away from my house, and they've been there for 20 years, which is hysterical. I'm like, oh, I just found you just when you need it, right on time, as I like to say. So that's been wonderful. I've sat with them 2 Saturdays, and the first day I sat with them, and I had not sat in Sangha in a very, very long time. And the first day I sat with them, just tears of joy just came down my cheeks from being in Sangha again. So, and And certainly, Gina, you know how important Sangha is anyway. So, Miss Stephanie Minter.
Today's challenge was sound. It was lovely because I could pick up a little bit of your wind chimes in the background.
Yes, I had my speaker wide open so the bell would ring.
And then it's Florida, so I'm getting the afternoon monsoon. So the rain stopped
Wow.
at first, and now it is just like sheets and buckets. So it's cascaded waterfall.
So
sort
and when that happens, Stephanie, when we're given the gift of something, a sensory thing like that,
Mhm.
that can be the focus instead of the breath. We do that other practice um, with sensory stuff, right? We do it with touch and sound. We've learned that kind of thing. Oh, here comes some 12:30 people. So you can always just use that as the thing you return to. So you can use sound, and then your mind will wander into planning dinner or whatever it is, and you go, "Oh yeah, let's come back to rain."
Yeah,
Right? Because
I love
because
it.
right, it's wandering, focusing, wandering, focusing. That's the move here. And focusing with love. Yeah. And
Yes.
even and being distracted and going, "Oh, distracted sound." And if it is so prevalent like that, it'd be like, "Oh, well, I'll just make that my focus." And then there's nobody watching over our shoulder saying, "Oh, you have to be focusing on breathing today," instead of sensation or sound or things like that. So,
Almost
yeah.
like a sound bath with the sensory input, things like that. And not
Yes.
that there's
Yes.
a right way to do meditation, but I always know I've reached my zone when the cat joins me. And seated the way I was, he couldn't sit on me. So I don't know if you guys saw him
I did
sitting.
see him up there.
He was
Yeah.
also in his
Yeah.
meditation position. So
Yeah. It's interesting.
maybe I'll try the next session outdoors and do a little nature connection.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And maybe we'll do one. Maybe that's what we'll do next week, Stephanie, is maybe I'll be outdoors and we'll do uh a little nature meditation. And at some point we'll do walking meditation together too, everybody. So thank you guys. Anyone have a question about anything? Buddhism, meditation, uh, uh, dream work, writing, performing, depth psychology, life coaching, or transformation, or how to deal with the shit show. Anything, really, any question. If it's coming up, it's meant to be asked, and it's for you and it's for us. Because I'm here to just hold space for whatever bubbles up in this space here. So, yeah, Brett, come on in. Are you stuck, not able to unmute? Some people have been
There
having
we
some.
go.
Oh, there you go. Some people have been having some unmuting issues lately on Zoom.
I'm on my phone today. I had to mail in my computer today.
Oh, huh.
I know. Don't get me started, Kelly. I just came down. Um, I have a question. I've never had to ask for sponsorships before. And next week, I have an appointment with the board members of the Chamber of Commerce, and several of them are bank owners here in town. And I'm producing this show about the local shops on the old red brick district in this little old town. And so I want to shoot these shows and commercials for these different companies, but I've never had to ask for financing before. And I'm
Mm.
not sure the best way to go about it. And I can't talk good.
So you're nervous about
I am, yeah.
the talking part and all of that. With anything like that, what just comes immediately to me is there's something in your heart, Brett, that you are being service to by doing these and using your skill set to do this, and you're supporting local businesses. And so I always open with heart. I always let people know the why behind what I'm doing. And understanding also that these bankers, uh, the health, the financial health and the robust, you have something in common. You have a goal in common, which is supporting these businesses and making sure that small business is alive and well in your town. And plus, what a better thing than having their name associated with getting to uh, be a part of it. I'm sure you'll acknowledge them in some way. So the come from, we call it the come from, right? The why behind it, the heart space behind it. And then you can use the logic behind it for the business people, which is, this is going to profit you too by being associated with this, and getting, and being a sponsor of this. So making
You're frozen, Kelly. I don't know if she can hear.
my head take
There
on
you
it.
are.
Oh, am I frozen? Was I frozen?
You were.
Oh, how much of it? Okay, well, here's what I said. Here's uh connect to your heart with why you're doing it. But always when we are coming to someone with an ask, we need to make it worth their while. And the two things that are important for something like a bank and a local bank, especially supporting local businesses, is this is going to do their reputation well by having marketing, by having their name on it as a sponsor. That's what sponsorship is about. But also, it's supporting local business, it's supporting the health of your community. And that's really important for institutions like that in a setting like that. So it's always about setting up the win-win situation when you're pitching anything. And don't worry about needing to be slick, Brett, or to be like them, or to be a person who knows how to make presentations. You're a creative who's using your creative skills to do this stuff. Let yourself be a creative, but also let yourself be in their shoes so that they will get to hear what they want to hear about it. Does that make sense? Yeah, good. That's for pitching anything, and certainly for creatives, as Holly knows. If you're going to pitch a screenplay or whatever, and these days you're pitching in Hollywood, you're pitching bean counters. In the end, the bean counters make the decision. It has to be profitable on some level, and it might not be financially profitable for the banks because it's a sponsorship, but it's profitable because they will be seen as someone who is supporting their community. This isn't about you, Brett. It's about the businesses. Remember that. Yeah. What a fun question to get. That was so fun. It's so unlike the other questions. Lori, I will catch up with you, darling. Cannot wait. Sue.
Well, speaking of senses, I just got a text from my 90-year-old mom that her um, new set of hearing aids are really powerful. So it's like, too bad she could have had them earlier, but it just really proves that, we need all of our senses. And, I hope she'll be able to hear me and my sisters and me when we talk with her about stuff. But, it's like, how many pairs of hearing aids do my parents have to go through? My dad went through at least 3 pair. And it's just like, as my aunt says, you can put a man on the moon, but you can't get a good pair of hearing aids.
It just
Anyway.
goes to show uh, 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 just the miracle of our sensory, our body, this body, these ears, these eyes, our smell, our taste, our skin. Talk about gratitude. Instant gratitude. One thing that can help shift a mood always, if there is darkness or heaviness in your day, is to find something to be grateful for. And it's right here, you guys. This heart beating, these ears able to hear whatever it is. The color of orange on that plant out there is just a, if we can really, and this is the mindfulness practice, really focusing on that sense, sight, whatever it is. And so it comes right back to a beautiful way to appreciate life and to bring us back into the present moment. Kier,
Hello.
hello.
Hi. Hi, Kelly.
Hello.
I just want to say thank you for bringing up about our smartphones, social media, I mean, our devices, because I'm trying to get back into stand-up comedy, writing jokes, and I use social media as my platform stage to engage with my audience, especially my young generation that is so hooked with phones, social media, internet. Like they'll never know. Like we'll never know what life used to be like before computers and
Yeah.
internet. So I just I just want to say trying to bring my like sh like show to try to show my audience, my young generation, that there's like other parts of life to explore besides like the toxic music they be listening to, like the words they be saying, like
Mm,
period, Riz, Giad, whatever. It,
mm.
I try to like, relate to my generation that doesn't, I don't know, that doesn't try to question where they are in like the chaos and the cosmos of the universe because they
Yeah.
don't know what's like.
Yeah, you're meeting them where they're at, right? And that's so important. We have to meet everyone where they're at, whether we're a performer or a parent or a teacher or just another human on earth. It's the biggest gift we can give to each other is, that line that people say, everyone's going through something, and you never know what people are going through or what they're wrestling with. And everyone's, inside of a life that's going a certain way. And to just take a pause to appreciate that. Earlier on our writing, we were doing a free little mini talk earlier about writing, and audience came up, the idea of audience and how to kind of take care of audience. And stand-up comedy, as you know, direct feedback from audience. Social media, a little bit of direct, right? You can get a thumbs up,
Yeah,
you get
yeah.
the comments, a little bit. But in a live club, as you and I have discussed, it is right there. Boom, you're getting it right away. You know how the audience is taking it. And so that's interesting, and a stand-up comedian's job, as a wise man once said, is to find the line and to cross it and to take the audience with you and to have them be glad that they did.
Exactly. That's exactly the plan that I'm trying to get.
Yeah, and so that, but you got to a little bit meet them where they're at with
Right,
whatever that
because I can't,
is.
like I'm out of the loop. I can't speak like how they speak. I feel like I'm an outcast and like they're just like
Yeah, and that's a
always been
great
so
premise
ignorant.
too. Like I'm an
Yeah.
outcast. I don't know anything.
Like they think I'm just a fucking nerd. Excuse my language.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, right. And so just owning that, right? And then they're like, "Oh, okay. He gets how we see him."
Yeah.
Then it's like, "Oh, all right." And then the door opens a little bit, you
Yeah.
know? Yeah, yeah. It's I'm so excited. I'm so glad you're refocusing on the comedy again and uh, break a tibia, as my dad used to say. Thank you, Kier, for being here.
Yeah, no
Great to
problem. Thank you.
great to see your face today.
You too. Thank you.
Anyone else? What was I going to say? I was going to bring a little Thich Nhat Hanh into the space here earlier and finish a little bit with that. Um, you know, th- One of the powerful things about Thich Nhat Hanh's story, if you're not familiar with it, is that when he was a young monk he was smack dab in the middle of the Vietnam War. And the order that he was in, and I do not think it was the Order of Interbeing yet. I don't think he had started it. I think he was still just a monk. I don't really know fully that piece of the story, but they tended to the suffering. So there was medical needs, and there was housing needs, and feeding needs for people during the war. Think of Gaza right now. And they tended to both sides. They did not pick a side because they were just worried about human suffering as Buddhists. And I think about him a lot these days because that is a very courageous thing, a courageous stand to take. And it's one that eliminates us from taking sides right now. I know that politically taking sides is important as a citizen. And I also know that we can't just take sides all the time. At some point, we're going to have to see each other again as humans. And so Ty's path is so inspiring for me these days because I really do, when I do my loving kindness meditations and send loving kindness out into the world, I really send it to everybody because everyone is suffering on some level. And it's not me to know what that is or to judge or to examine or diagnose them either. I just know that humans are suffering right now. And Thai at the time, once North Vietnam won the war and the Viet Cong won the war, because he had helped both sides and been part of the order of both sides, he was exiled from his own country for decades. He ended up landing in France. His main monastery is there. It's called Plum Village. He's passed. He died a few years ago. But about 10 years before he died, Vietnam invited him to come home, and he established a monastery in Vietnam. And he actually died at that monastery. And so I just speak that story because that was a country that was very torn apart and went to war with itself, and then eventually became part of the world again and started reconciling with itself. And so I hold that hope for our country right now, that there will be reconciliation, that people who need to be protected will be protected, that the justice system works properly, and those who need justice will get it. And that there is a deeper understanding that we all come to in this country about who needs what and when and why. So just bringing Thich Nhat Hanh into the space here and letting him sit with us and his heart for this country, um, and his Buddha wisdom to reign over us. So just wanted to leave you all with that. Thank you so much for being here today. And I appreciate you coming. I appreciate you sitting and doing a little sitting meditation today. Your heart and mind and nervous system will appreciate it too. And I just pitching, just so you know, there's an app, a Thich Nhat Hanh app. If you're curious, more curious about his teachings and want to hear him talk or his monks talk, it's called, hold on here. What is it called? I think it's called the Mindfulness Bell. No, what is it called? I'm like totally spacing out. Someone remind me if you know what it is. God darn it. It's so funny. I'm having my oh, here it is. What's it called? It's not telling me what it's called, of course. That's so fun. Oh, Plum Village. Sorry. The app is called Plum Village. And here's a little Thich Nhat Hanh quote just came up for us to end in. He says, "When you drink your tea, you are drinking a cloud." And what that's talking about is the interdependence of all living things, that without clouds, there would be no plant, the tea plant. Without clouds, there'd be no you and me. So that's the understanding and the concept of interbeing and interdependence. A deep, deep teaching, Buddhist teaching. All right, I'm going to leave you all. You guys have a great week. I will see you next week. I will see some of you before that. And thank you for coming, and see you later. Bye.